y'all know that USB-C is coming to the iPhone 15 this fall? USB Type-C was approved by the European Union on October 4th, 2022 to become what they're calling the common charger. Although this was just an EU agreement, it affects the iPhone 15 for all of us. Apple needs to comply with the new USB-C standard in order to continue selling iPhones in the EU, which includes 27 countries. The agreement comes into action late 2024, meaning it's most likely for the upcoming iPhone 15 to include USB-C. This is since it's expected to be announced in September and sold all the way through late 2024. Greg Joss, Apple Senior VP of Worldwide Marketing, has also confirmed that it will be coming to the iPhone, so we're highly expecting it.
Governments, get to do what they're going to do, and obviously we'll have to comply, but we think the approach would have been better environmentally and better for our customers to not have a government be that prescriptive.
But wait, what the fuck is even USB-C? USB Type-C is a reversible 24-pin USB connector system with blah 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 blah. Basically, it's a connector that can be plugged into your device from either side. Just like the current Lightning connector on the iPhone. It has fast transfer speeds and can provide up to 100 watts of power delivery, or up to 240 watts with USB Type-C 2.1, meaning that you get fast charging or that it can be used for more power-intensive devices like gaming laptops. Woohoo! By now, you've probably all seen one or used one before. I mean, it is used on the Switch, new iPads, newer laptops, and most Androids. But wait, what does this even mean for me? How will this affect me if I don't really care for a slightly faster cable? Well, if you upgrade from an iPhone, you might now have to replace all of your countless cables that you've collected over the years. You might also need to replace all of your charging bricks that have USB-A ports, or you'll need to buy a bunch of clunky adapters, which is not fun. For the average consumer that switches to the new iPhone, this might become an annoying inconvenience and a waste of money on new chargers. It could also encourage people to throw away all of their old cables as they might no longer need them, which will only contribute to e-waste. These are likely just some of the short-term effects though. The EU has actually been working to introduce the common charger for 10 years. Their long-term goals with the common charger are to introduce consumer convenience, to reduce electronic waste, and to avoid fragmentation in the market. They estimate that long-term consumers will save money on purchasing chargers and that it will annually cut down electronic waste by 11,000 tons in just the EU alone. This kind of means that we might no longer need to carry a bunch of different cables with us. We will just need one cable to charge for our phones, our iPads, laptops, or whatever we carry with us. So do you think that the long-term goals are worth it? Could this common charger agreement impact innovation? Or is the European Union overstepping boundaries over tech businesses? When the EU first approved the common charger, everyone, or at least all the tech nerds on Twitter and Reddit, were super excited as they've been insisting for Apple to adapt USB-C on its iPhones for several years now. Apple seems to have finally been forced to comply thanks to the EU agreements. Although I keep referring to the iPhone, this charger agreement impacts all mobile phones, tablets, digital cameras, earbuds, headphones, headsets, handheld video game consoles, portable speakers, portable navigation systems, e-readers, keyboards, mice, and laptops will also be added to the list, but they've got until spring 2026 to comply. As you can tell by the list, iPhones and Apple are not the only product or company being affected by this. It's just that they've been one of the slowest companies in making the switch naturally. So now they're kind of just being forced into it. USB-C though isn't the only agreement that the EU has enforced on Apple. Recently, a new European law could also force Apple to allow site loading and third-party app stores on the iPhone. With third-party app stores and site loading, iPhone users would be able to download other non-Apple application stores and a larger selection of apps. Apple has actually lobbied and been against possible DMA enforcements due to privacy and security concerns for its users. They're also likely scared of losing some control and income from it. Currently, they receive 30% of all in-app purchases from apps in their app store, which can possibly be threatened with site loading. The EU's DMA, or the Digital Markets Act, could possibly classify Apple on September 6th as gatekeepers. Thus, Apple would be enforced to allow site loading, third-party stores, etc. in efforts of catering a fair business environment. Although Apple is against it, they might actually allow side loading on the iPhone 15 as soon as this fall due to the EU's regulation. However, there's rumors that they might only comply with it within the European Union. So for us in the US and in other countries, we might not even get the option to side load, or at least for now. That's not all though. Most recently, the Parliament also voted on having all phone batteries be user-replaceable in efforts of a friendly pro-consumer market and sustainability. This will also affect other large phone companies such as Samsung, since they've also moved to non-removable batteries in the past few years. This latest announcement by the EU, though, has gotten a mix of feelings on social media. Do you think the EU is just protecting consumers? Are their governments overstepping and getting too involved with tech companies? Or is there a sort of middle ground here? I'm still a little bit in the middle about it. Overall, I think these regulations will be great for us consumers and for the environment. But I just wonder that if they keep adding to the list, could it possibly limit growth and innovation for future technology? I also wonder if it could get to a point where Apple stops selling in the EU. Right now, it seems very unlikely as they hold 29% of the European smartphone market. But their buttons are for sure being pushed. But to bring it back, would you be upgrading to the new USB-C iPhone this fall? If so, let me know in the comments down below because I'm super excited to hear about it. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching and I hope that you have a beautiful, wonderful rest of the day. Bye!